Welcome back to part 2 of our book study video series, where this week we are finishing up The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Georgina, a qualified real estate agent, loan specialist, and co-founder of Estra Finance, your go-to mortgage brokerage here in the Philippines. We're creating these videos to help Filipino agents reach their highest potential in the real estate game. In part 1, we spoke about the first stage, Think a Million, and we learned about the ways millionaire real estate agents think and how it changes the way they work. If you haven't watched it, make sure you do at some stage, because it will probably make this video make a lot more sense. So let's get into stage 2, Earn a Million. Alright, so as I mentioned in part 1, we spoke about thinking patterns. It was a great base for how to set up your business for success, starting by changing your perspective and thinking big. Now, Earn a Million is about putting that theory into practice. This section is very instructional, and there are 4 models that we'll be going through that you should really base your entire business around. Keller calls these big models: the economic model, the lead generation model, the budget model, the organizational model. When you put them all together in practice, these 4 big models create a formula for success that's almost foolproof. This is the 20% of work that should garner the 80% of your effort. Keller says to achieve the amount of net income you desire, you will need to generate X number of leads, spend X amount of money in specific areas to support those efforts, and hire X number of people to service it all. So let's jump into the first big model, the economic model. As the name implies, this model is based around your money flow. Now, the fun thing about this model is that every business has an economic model already. A lot of people just don't know it or don't use it effectively. So here's what you need to understand. An economic model should do 3 basic things for you: show you where your money comes from, show you where your money goes, show you how much is left for you. And it needs to be suitable for when your business grows from just yourself to a fully operational team. Big models lead to big goals, remember? Now, the economic model runs with the belief that you know and understand how your key numbers interact. When you know this, it's easier to set goals for the key numbers. After you've done that, you know how many appointments you must make and the conversion rates you must achieve. These 3 things are key for the success of the economic model. Now, I know what you're thinking. What are these mysterious key numbers for success? Let's go through them. Here's the example that Keller uses in his book. This is a very simple list that tracks your key performance numbers, and you can clearly see which numbers have more effect over the rest. This is a great way to learn how your key numbers interact. When you're just starting out with your economic model, use this list and just guess your numbers. You've got to start somewhere. Over time, you will rely less on guesswork and more on experience to set specific goals for specific numbers to help you reach specific results. Like I mentioned, now you know your key numbers and how they interact, you need to book the required appointments. They're the first thing in the list of key numbers, because without them, you've got nothing. Appointments lead to income, so focus on booking appointments. And lastly, once you've got your appointments, you need to convert them into a successful sale. You will learn from your key numbers your average rate of conversion. For example, for every 3 appointments, you convert 1 of them, which means in order to convert 10 clients, you need to book 30 appointments on average. Appointments that convert to listings means more income for you. So track your conversions if you want to predict your gross annual income reliably. Our next model is the lead generation model. This goes pretty hand in hand with the economic model, because now you know how many appointments you need to book to make the money you want. You have to generate the leads to get these appointments. Remember the 3 L's from part 1. Leads are the lifeblood of your business. You can never have enough good leads. Research from 2002 shows that 76% of sellers will only contact 1 agent. 59% of buyers will only contact 1. This means the majority of people are not doing research. They aren't shopping around, they choose an agent and they stick with them. So you need to be front of mind in the majority of people in order to secure your leads. This means you need to be effective in your marketing and go for volume. If the majority of people only speak to one agent, then you need to be that agent. The other reason you plan for volume is because markets shift, conversion rates change, and sometimes things happen in the world that could mean you need more leads than you originally thought. There is no such thing as too many leads until you are a millionaire real estate agent. So always aim for more leads than you think you need. Now, to secure these leads, there are 3 steps. These are pretty fundamental for those of you with marketing knowledge, and if you don't have a marketing background, then you need to learn some basics pretty quickly. The key areas you need are the prospecting and marketing aspect, where you generate leads and move them into your inner circles. Second, there is the work to set up your database and feed it constantly. And lastly, there is the systematic marketing to that database to generate new, repeat, and referral business. Now, Keller does give some marketing advice in his book, but honestly, it's a lot easier to do it now than it was when he wrote the book 20 years ago, so I'm not going to go over it. Take it upon yourself to learn a basic social media strategy and an email funnel and go from there. You might want to hire a marketing agency or even an expert if you aren't confident in your ability to do it yourself. Okay, so earlier when we were discussing the economic model, I said that you need to know where your money comes from, where it goes, and how much is left for you. This budget model is how you figure that out. As you might expect, the budget model is all about minimizing your expenses. Keller says that firstly, you'll want to adopt lead with revenue as your financial motto. Then you'll need to get into the habit of playing the mental game of red light, green light with your expenses. And lastly, you'll have to actually stick to the budget model you've adopted. The first mistake people tend to make with budgets is that they think you have to spend money to make money. Whilst this might be the case sometimes, it's not applicable here. Only spend money that your business has generated. If you need more money, you need to make more revenue. It's that simple. Don't spend money you don't have. Not only does this help you save money, but it helps you work harder. We've all seen Squid Games. When the light is green, you run for your life, and when it's red, you freeze and pray you don't twitch. But when it comes to your budget, it's a little different. There's nothing wrong with spending money. The problem is when you're spending money and getting nothing back from it. If your costs are increasing but your profit isn't, that's when you're in trouble. That's when you turn your mental light red, stop everything, and reevaluate what you're doing. You want to hold every dollar accountable for bringing back that and more. If you spend $1 and it brings back $1, what's the point in spending it? That's not making you money. So always evaluate your expenses. See what they're bringing back and know when to switch your green light to red. The last lesson here is probably the hardest, and that's to stick to your budget. Imagine that it's sacred, it's holy, it's precious. It needs to be respected. Putting in all the effort to make a budget and determine how every dollar should be spent and what you should get back from it, only to not follow it to the letter is a monumental waste of time. Plus, considering your budget needs to be looked at monthly at a minimum, and Keller recommends adjusting it weekly, staying in touch with your spending and following your budget makes your workload lighter and easier if you stick to it. The last model we will be discussing is the organisational model, and it's not about staying organised. It refers to the people within your organisation. How do you know when to hire someone? Well, at some point in your career, you will not be having fun anymore, or you'll start feeling overwhelmed, or you'll start thinking to yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. Isn't there someone else who can do it for me? And that's when you know you're ready to hire. This is when you take advantage of the leverage your business offers. Remember, we discussed leverage in part 1. According to Keller, the leverage that hiring someone can bring to your business is the fastest, surest way to continue up the path to becoming a millionaire real estate agent. So, as with the other sections, there are 3 key areas of focus you need for your organizational model to be successful. This answers the question of who you should hire first. You would think that the best thing to do is to put systems in place before you hire to help your business grow, right? Systems, tools, people. But Keller says this is not the case. Designing and implementing the systems your business needs takes a lot of time and some specific skills that you may not have. And for the majority of real estate agents out there, they're bad at it. It's hard to do, and in the end, you reduce your productivity because it's taking up so much of your time. This is why you need to hire administration help first. They should have the skills to document and later implement your systems. This leads us into our second key point, which is you need to hire talent. Your administration assistant needs to be great, not just good. If they're not a great fit, then they're not a fit, period. But how do you know if you're hiring someone with talent? They are a superb match for the criteria you established in the job description, such as their natural abilities, their skills, experience, aspirations, and they should have every reason to succeed at a high level. I've got a list up on the screen for you that Keller has devised to help you identify great talent as well. The last key area of your organizational model is training and consulting. On the screen here is a diagram showing how training and consulting should work. You train the new employee to understand the job, learn the skills, and develop the systems required to do the job properly. This is also where you set your standards and expectations for the level of services we discussed in part 1. Then the employee puts all of this into action. Every week you consult together to track progress, make changes if required, and hold them accountable for their actions. If required, you do additional training. Most companies do training that looks something like this. This is not the way. There is no point in hiring talent if you don't plan to teach them how to do their jobs well and challenge them to grow and learn all the time, not just at the start of their career with you. To sum up, Keller says to think of your organizational model this way: talent to shine, systems to define, train and consult to refine. Now, before I tell you what's coming next, if you've made it this far through the video, you're definitely a real estate agent wanting to make it big. So why not check out our referral program with the link below? We offer unlimited commission for real estate agents who refer clients needing loans to us. So let's partner up and give clients their dream home with their dream loan. As mortgage brokers, it's our job to increase clients' confidence in buying a home by helping them find the best loan on the market for their situation, advising them on exactly what they can afford, and helping them reach their goals faster, whether that's owning 1 home or 10. I have a video on exactly who we are and what we do if you want to learn more, and I'll link it on the screen for you. And if you want a guide on how to have the best year of your career in 2024, our ultimate guide containing all the best bits of the books we cover in this series will be available soon. So sign up on our website if you're interested in that. That brings us to the end of stage 2. There are 2 more stages, net $1 million and receive $1 million, and they're about the issues you'll likely come across as your revenue grows. So I do recommend taking a look at the book yourself as you go along your real estate career. If you want me to do a video on those chapters, comment down below and I'll see what I can do. And since you're down there, why not like and subscribe? I've covered other books for real estate agents and for learning how to invest in real estate, so if you liked this video, you'll probably like those as well. Ingat!